The sky's the limit tonight at 10:30. Charlie Sheen in Terminal Velocity. But now TV's vets brave the camera to tell us when it shouldn't have happened, but it did.
TV vets, they're the nation's animal experts.
The public doesn't realise how little we know.
They're cool in a crisis. They're life-saving heroes.
Oh, I'm doing it again.
And I went like that, and this hamster flew across the room.
Brave to the core.
You do get not just a little bit afraid, you get terrified.
And dedicated to the cause.
Happiness is a cow on each arm.
It's a job where only the toughest survive.
Buster is one of these animals that quite a few people, like, ow!
Any vet who braves the TV world must respect a simple rule. Lights, camera and animals equals chaos.
Hey, hey! If you try and do anything on television, I mean, you're setting yourself up for a fall.
Caesar was subsequently...
You're there with an animal, and the animal is completely unpredictable. Animals don't realise that they're on camera.
Here at Over Farm in Gloucester, you're never short of things to look at and things to do. There are so many wonderful animals.
You might even want to go as far, sorry, the dog farted.
Animals seem to make it their mission in life to make you look stupid.
Why do dogs wag their tails? Have you ever wondered what it means?
You can say what's going to happen with people. You can say, you go there, stand there. And you do. You say to a doggy, you go there and you stand there. Come back!
Don't run! Close the gates! Fido!
The British obsession with animals has produced some of our most memorable television, from classic vet dramas to documentaries following real-life vets at work. But the actor and the vet share a common problem. If they're to survive in the TV spotlight, they must never trust the co-star.
Enzo, can you go around? Come here, come here.
Oh! They wait till the end of a take, or towards the end of a take, so you just got everything out, and then they wait till your last line and they go, rah.
You want to come up here to satisfy your own curiosity? No. Shut up!
He's had a stroke. You see the husband and wife, the farmer and his wife, looking very sad, and the dog so still, lying on a bale of hay. And I'm saying, fairly emotively, I'm really sorry, but I'm afraid your dog is paralysed.
Is there aught you can do, James?
He's not in pain, he's quite comfortable. He is paralysed, I want to say.
Action. You don't survive as a vet for 14 years without a few tricks of the trade.
Mark Evans' co-star was a ferret called Cindy.
Hello, darling. I start handling it, doing a piece to camera, and lo and behold, within seconds, it just went...
She's generally a very sweet ferret, but she is partial to ankles and forearms.
Is she? Like that?
That's it, yes.
So that's a very nice example.
Shall I release her?
No, she's obviously not fussy about who she eats then. And it hurts. I mean, you know, the first time they bite, it's not too bad. It kind of, they stick their teeth in and you feel it and they say, OK, that's fine. And as long as they hold on, the worst thing you can do is try and get them off, because if they're hanging on like that and you start pulling on them, they just start chomping like that.
Well, I think Brighton TV presenter is a real coup for her.
Mark thought his ordeal was over.
Thank you.
Little did he know, it was only just beginning.
So we do it all, and the director's going, fantastic. But I need to get the close-ups now. So could you do that again? And this is like 15 minutes later, and I'm going, you want me to do that again? That hurt. Did it look as though it hurts? Because it did hurt. Honestly, it hurts, right? And I'm sure the ferret won't mind biting me again, but me, I'd rather not.
Close it together and put it back on Mark's arm. And
So you want more jumping? Look, this bit, we like this bit here.
Come on, Cindy.
Ah, that does hurt now. Thank
No, you can't move.
When they stick them in the old wounds,
No, you
that hurts.
you have to keep still when he's doing it, please. Don't move.
Here we go then.
No good.
Here we go then. By this time, the puncture wounds in my arm had started to get inflamed. And I said, can I do it on my other arm? Because this arm is starting to really hurt. And he goes, of course, don't be stupid, Mark. You've done 12 years of telecontinuity, son. You've got to have it up there. Ooh. So, lo and behold, we went through this sequence of this damn ferret chomping into swollen holes in my arm. And then he says to me, we haven't got any expressions on your face, Mark. Could you do some expressions for us? What kind of expressions do you want? And he went, go, ah, like that. And I'm sitting there with this ferret hanging on my arm going, ah, ah, look at that. All for the sake of 10 seconds worth of telly.
Now, listen very carefully as Kira flies past that microphone towards her perch. OK, John, let's watch and listen.
With potential disaster at every turn, it's a brave vet who risks going live.
Well, that'll be the end of this item for the day. As we retrieve Kira from the lights, she could be up there for a couple of months.
What we're looking at today is bats, and I was doing one live Blue Peter thing with a bat, and this little bat, tiny little bat, only had one wing, and I was under pain not to drop this bat because it couldn't fly. And I was being really delicately holding this thing because it was a really fragile little bat.
Joe's here to help us out with it today. Oh,
the
just
bat's on the loose.
Little bat.
There we go. It just hopped out of my hands and just fluttered, sort of spiralled to the ground because it only had one wing. And it did it about twice. It kept jumping out of my hand.
Oh, frisky fella.
And I was thinking, oh, God, I'm going to get really slated here for cruelty to bats.
They'll go after ankles. Other dogs that like
But beware the cute little puppy. He may look innocent, but really he's spoiling for a fight.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Occasionally, Shih Tzus and Gophers go at it.
Paul Smith, who was the puppeteer of Gordon the Gopher, he's got his hand in there. This little yappy, nippy thing is biting at the gopher, and Paul is underneath the desk watching it on a monitor thinking, this is fun.
I'm sorry, Gordon, I know. He's just very affectionate.
Go for his ankles, Dolphin.
And then he suddenly realised this dog had quite sharp teeth, and every time they pierced the gopher's skin, it was actually getting Paul.
He won't hurt you. Is that better? Are you okay?
I mean, that's the way a lot...
Even if the animal isn't overexcitable, don't expect it to perform to order.
Joining me this morning is animal psychiatrist Dr. Roger Mugford and his singing Irish setter, Sam.
I happen to have a lovely dog who had this extraordinary ability to sing Happy Birthday, and he could almost form the words of the Happy Birthday, and I only had to hold my hand up in a special way or round my lips in a special way, and he would go into Happy Birthday.
What's he going to sing for us?
Oh, Sammy, Sammy, ooh, 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 Sammy, come on, up, ooh, ooh, Sammy.
Poor old Sam doesn't know what he's up to, no? So it really works this, then?
Follow.
I can sing it for you if you
heat
want.
of the lights, absolutely.
No. Anyway.
The expert that looks stupid.
Throw in there.
If all else fails, the expert has one last resort. If the animal turns nasty, make sure it turns on the presenter.
We were doing a live show on a Tuesday afternoon. We'd started off with Brian Plummer, and he'd given me a ferret to have on my lap. I was stroking this ferret, and actually they're quite nice to have on your lap because they quiver a bit, you know, and they sort of throb.
Yeah. Ow, ow, ow!
And suddenly,
I'm sorry.
this excruciating pain I became aware of. Absolutely excruciating.
Ow! It's all right, let it go. Put it on the floor, it won't hurt you. It is hurting me.
Ow, 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 I went.
Put it down.
And then the cameraman got a fantastic close-up of the ferret with its little face, its determined face, and its eyes, its little piercing eyes. There, and it was scrabbling on this glass table. It couldn't get a foothold, and it was going...
Thank you. If that had meant business, it would have been through to the bone. She's playing with you.
If I had to face that ferret again, knowing what lay in store, I would eat it.
Coming up, Hot Pursuit, Cold Fear.
The closest I've ever come to being, I mean, just being absurdly scared was that night.
And creepy crawlies.
Does this make your flesh crawl? This is mine.
Finish were the first to combine detergent, rinse aid and salt action in a 3-in-1 tab. Now they've made their ultimate breakthrough. New Finish 3-in-1 Total with powerful red stain soakers. Extra power to soften even the toughest dried-on food, helping to soak it away. So Finish's unique Powerball technology can deliver a brilliant shine. Time after time after time. New Finish 3-in-1 Total. Total power and our ultimate shine.
It's hot. It's seriously hot. So don't miss the summer sale at Conroy's for serious savings, like the Georgia at £399. That's half price. Choose the Rome, down to half price at £499. Relax on the Monique double recliner at only £999, and that's half price too. Or stretch out on the Chertsey, yours at half price for just £599. The summer sale at Conroy's. It's seriously hot.
The music event of the summer is coming to the Northeast. Feel the noise live. Feel the noise live. Gareth Gates, Atomic Kitten, Blue, The Sugar Babes, Liberty X, Ian Van Dahl, and many more. Brought to you by TFM and Metro Radio. Call 0191 263 5000 and just feel the noise live.
It's not a serious relationship, is it? They just need to get used to the idea of us.
You think they ever will?
Do you think I'd be putting us through all this if it was just a fling?
Maybe this has all gone too far, too fast.
I can't come between you and your career, Beth.
And I can't come between you and your children.
Where the Heart Is, Sunday at 8, ITV1.
Oh, bollocks.
It's a challenge all vets face. If you want to treat an animal, you have to catch it first. With the cameras rolling, dumb animal turns into daring freedom fighter. The TV vet knows there's only one outcome, their complete humiliation. In the war between man and beast, the vet has sophisticated tactics. There's the roundup.
Come on, you're a total troller. Come on. Come on.
Doggy.
The gang up. Or if all else fails, the shoot 'em up.
Yeah, when you force these little darts, they don't fly straight.
Though even this can be hit and miss.
Missed you again. Wouldn't believe you could miss them at this range, would you?
The final solution, play dirty, confine the target, and fire at will.
Trying to capture escaped animals is one of the hardest things in the world, and it is very easy when you're watching other people do it to look back and go, oh, you don't want to do that. No. Because when you're in the thick of it, you can't see all that going on.
Well done. Well done. Great. Bring him down. Just watch those legs. Watch the legs. Watch the legs. Watch the legs. Watch the legs. Whoa, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, that's lovely. That's lovely. That's lovely. It is. Catch it, catch it.
On est en passé, Hunter.
Go quick now, fast. Fast. Okay. You get the dustbin, Lee. Watch your hands. Keep your hands well away from the head. Oh, no. I don't believe it.
You just cannot catch an animal unless they're really, just got one leg, basically. Oh, who are you?
Animals do have a sixth instinct. I mean, they know if you're scared. So if you go to rescue a wild animal and you're actually scared of it, the animal will know and it'll play up like crazy.
That's it.
If the animal knows you mean business and you're going to do what you've come to do, I'm not saying they sort of set back and accept it, but they're certainly calmer than they would otherwise be, I think.
Let's see that theory put into practice. Even the most docile of animals can be overcome with a sense of adventure.
We were looking at this one sheep, and then there was sort of this clatter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
We turned round, and the other sheep legged it out the trailer and was halfway up this alleyway that led to the main high street. We decided not to go up the high street, and had gone over towards the water.
We're never going to capture her unless we can get her in a small space.
So we just ended up running around like a pair of headless chickens. And for months after that, everyone kept coming, oh, I saw that sheep, oh yeah, have you chased many sheep recently, oh, all the rest of it. And it's sort of in the end, you go, yeah, just don't mention the sheep.
And don't mention the weather.
We got called to what we were told was an injured cormorant on an island. The weather was absolutely vile. It was not only raining, but it was sleeting and it was snowing. It was very windy.
Oh, I can't see it. My hands have gone completely numb. Oh, the wind. It'd be better if I could feel my hands.
And I just rode into sort of a little island type thing.
Ah! No, I couldn't see that. That was a little island we hit.
And the whole boat started to wobble. The cameraman is in absolute hysterics, and we got out to this island eventually to find there was no sign of any bird anywhere. So we just adjourned to the nearest pub.
Which was a 2-mile walk away. It's not just a speedy escape that scuppers a vet's plan, there's worse. A cunning animal knows attack is the best form of defence. The hunters can suddenly find themselves the hunted. Hey. And when pursuing that deadliest of species, the rhino, only fools and vets get too close.
It's a bit of a scary sight, you know, having a black rhino, and 3 of them, you know, bearing down at you. You know, where do you go to? You're taught to just sit still, sit behind the bush, that you're going to be okay.
Or ignore the advice and run for your life. And don't rely on the crew for backup.
I don't know if the crew saw much of it, to be quite honest. I saw lots of waving branches and things. That's kind of how you try and handle the situation. Basically, don't panic.
Handy advice, as Truda found out when facing so-called tame rhinos.
I had pictured, I think we all had pictured something very small and cute and cuddly. And what was there when we arrived, we were all quite shocked because they were quite big ones.
They're not so cuddly as I thought.
And then the vet we were working with at the time, Chrissy, was sort of saying, well, they're not that used to other people, really. And I thought, oh, well, what does that mean? And they all came towards us, and particularly towards me. And I thought, oh, it's being friendly. It's a bit big, but it's being friendly. And then it just headbutted me up to this wall, and I was trapped up against this wall.
Give her a slap.
And I kept on saying, sort of, to the vet, you know, what should I do? Or just be determined and say no. And I kept on doing some pathetic little attempts, like, go away.
No.
No, you're right there. Go on. Hey.
No. No.
No one wanted to come and help me, and up to this day I don't forgive them for that.
One thing that does happen regularly on camera is that you do get not just a little bit afraid, you get terrified. This week at The Vet's Life comes to Amsterdam Zoo.
A place where giant strides have been made to bring zoo animals and visitors closer together.
We're watching all these animals and they're watching us thinking, what are they doing? And all the crew are around. And the sound guy was using his mic on a boom. And he made the mistake, unknowingly, of putting the microphone over the top of this enclosure, which was made of plate glass. Now, these animals were enclosed in this, and they're thinking, this is our place, and the public are out there, so that's fine. he had the audacity to put part of him over the top into their part. They all hated it, but one young buck of a gorilla hated it more than any other. And this thing came threw itself at the glass behind us, and we just took off. And really, even if you look at a picture of that scene, it's blurred, because I was moving at speed.
When it comes to close encounters, actors have the disadvantage of knowing what's heading their way.
Come on, boy. Where are you now, you little tinker? The outstation was literally sprung on me as an idea and then literally later as a dog.
We had practice and we had run through it with Zander and he was quite happy to go along with it.
Hello there. Hello. It stood there under a sort of tight leash, just off camera, with sort of wet teeth. You know, dogs have really cross, wet teeth. Going... I'm meanwhile standing about 4 feet away trying to say this line. And knowing that on the cue, the dog's just going to be let go. Yeah, there's nothing going to stop him apart from me.
We had a crash mat behind Zander, and we had a leather arm band on him filled with horsehair, very, very thick, and it didn't matter how tight the dog would have held onto him, it wouldn't have gone through that.
But the closest I've ever come to being, I mean, just being absurdly scared, actually very, very nervous, was that night. Oh. Good boy.
And as Zander delivered his line, he was asked, would he raise his hand slightly, because that to the dog was the command to go in.
Everything okay?
Yes, I'm just slowly trying to win his confidence.
And the dog literally flew in from the box, attached himself to Zander's arm and just pulled him over. And they just lay there. Zander laid there on his back and the dog still had hold of his arm.
Then, of course, after you finish, out come all the stories of previous victims.
But it takes a whole lot more than slavering dogs to terrify a vet.
Shadow!
I certainly loathe maggots.
Insects and spiders, I just have a bit of a problem with.
No, I'm not frightened. It's just, yes, I am frightened.
Does this make your flesh crawl? This is mine.
Snakes. I'm sorry, but I just can't love snakes.
Things with too many legs that moves too quickly. I have a freaky thing about that.
I don't think I could pick up a scorpion.
Scorpion! Even if vets are cowards, they must hide it on TV. Bradley Viner is scared of tarantulas, but agreed to handle one that hadn't been touched for 2 years.
Bradley Viner is in the bathroom, our pet vet, and we've got a tarantula. We had two. We had two earlier, but we're not sure what the other one's gone.
Anybody who knows anything about tarantulas knows that they're cold-blooded. And what really livens up a tarantula is warmth.
She's got a lovely fur.
Well, yes, but you don't stroke her because her hairs will actually shed. She doesn't like being stroked.
Oh.
So with all these studio lights on this tarantula, it suddenly decides that it's actually feeling rather perky and starts running along up my arm.
Bradley! Sean! Come here!
It's out of control! Zig and Zag just lapped it up. The fact that they had a terrified veterinary surgeon there on their programme was just what they wanted.
She grips on quite well.
If all else fails, the vet can rely on one person being more terrified than them, the presenter.
Sticky feet. He's trying to eat your microphone. Wait a minute, hold on.
Look.
No.
This stick insect started to walk up and further up, creep up my tummy and up my chest and right up to my open neck, and it was going up, and I couldn't bear to look.
They're gone. No, it's still there. Hold on.
Please, don't let this happen to me, please.
It's going for the throat. Just hold on a minute. Mind the fangs? Ah, it's off. Sorry about that.
Yes.
No.
I'll look after you.
Come on. I don't like roaches.
And for the best effect, take one squeamish American and add a hissing cockroach.
It's good. Wait.
Is it going to bite me?
No, probably.
No! Oh, no. Come here, get it off.
the break, things turn ugly.
If you've got a nasty cat and it wants to bite you, you are going to get bitten.
Dirty.
There is no warmer place on earth than to have your hand up the backside of a cow.
And dangerous.
Steady!
Decisions. At least deciding what to wear under your arms is easy. Dove deodorant gives 24-hour protection, has no alcohol, and with its 1/4 moisturizing cream, Dove takes care of your skin, whatever you decide to wear. 24-hour antiperspirant protection and no alcohol. Dove deodorant makes you soft, keeps you dry.
Hi, I've got squeaky brakes. That's all that needs fixing. So it shouldn't be too expensive. And I'll need it for the weekend.
Forget the funny business. At AA service centres, all our mechanics are AA trained. See the difference. Call 0800 032 0832. Just ask.
Well, Little Vet's Life features lots of different kinds of animals, but few of them can be cuter than this little one, which has just peed on my knee.
Being a vet is all about getting close to nature.
Is this what's... My thigh is really warm.
People sort of fondly imagine that the life of a vet is, or TV vet is glamorous, but actually, when you reflect on how much of it involves pee and poo, I think you might reconsider that. Oh, it's just done a poo on my hand.
You know, like, can you get that hedgehog to do that again? Oh, you see, this is what also happens.
That looks more like an abscess.
And see, we can squirt a lot of...
Sorry.
Yeah, one thing that sometimes doesn't come across for viewers is quite how smelly some of our job can be.
Wait, what? What do you want?
Oh, he's got diarrhea.
That's what
I'm in a job where I get covered in anal gland juice every day.
And you'll have it over your clothes and you'll be walking around and you think, God, I can't the smell. And you'll be getting air freshener that you spray in the room and spraying it all over your clothes because you just stink.
Being up... Oh, no, not again.
When I was making a film for the animal hospital team, and they said you need to take a urine sample from an elephant.
You'd like to catch some urine from the other end.
I was given a tiny tube that was this big, and no gloves, and that was just a sick joke. My God, when an elephant goes, it's like Niagara. And everyone said, oh, it's funny elephant pee, you know, it's amazing, it stinks for days. And it really does.
Oh, look, a piddling pig. If a tomcat pees, it's the worst thing in the world. It can take the skin off your nostril, really.
And the worst kind of stench requires strong nerves and rubber gloves.
There was one particular case that the camera crew nicknamed Rectum Ricky because the smell, I mean, this dog had, he'd actually been eating stones and they'd all lodged in his back passage.
It smells absolutely revolting, yeah, it really is quite nasty.
It was bad for me, but the camera crew were practically fainting.
But if you think vets have an unglamorous job, it's about to get a whole lot worse.
My father always said that all I would do is put dogs to sleep and put my hand up the backside of cows. He was not far off, really.
It's the one thing that everybody asks you about, you know, as soon as they know you're a vet, it's what's it like to stick your arm up the back end of a cow? And actually, it's a hugely pleasant experience.
It's pretty heavy physical work, isn't it, so betting on farms?
There is no warmer place on earth than to have your hand up the backside of a cow.
On a cold, wet, rainy day like today, You can't beat it in here.
And vet dramas require the real thing, motivation and method acting.
I'm all right. It's just the uterus contracting.
If the producer called for it, or the script called for it, and I had to actually do the old, or I don't know if it's I don't know what they do with it, but it's in anyway, up to there. Then yeah, you'd have to.
Well, the first time, I was quite nervous. I mean, very nervous. In fact, I was terrified. But I had to do it, and I knew that I would have to do it in the series. But once I'd done it once, it was okay. And after, I don't know, about a week or two filming, I must have done it about 3 or 4 times already for different stories, different episodes. And by that time, the camera crew said, "Come on, Chris, up you go."
I think there comes a moment in any vet actor's life when he knows he's going to be confronted with the cow moment.
This is Amelia. She's 10 years old and she's a Jersey cow. She's been in loads of feature films, loads of television series, and she did 1 episode of Beast.
The storyline was that I had a tiny little mobile and had been eaten by this cow. And I was expecting a call from some girl who I'd just given my number to about 2 nights before.
Hello, this is Nick. Can you ring back in 10 minutes?
The first rule is that you can really only do this sort of thing once. You have to do it once, otherwise the cow is going to get wise to it and he's going to be a lot crosser the second time than he would have been the first. What you up to?
Just monitoring the cow's progress.
I had to keep it in for as long as that conversation.
You've got the wrong cow.
And then very careful extrication, and then everyone clapped. Right, far too little sticking people's hands up cows' asses going on telly at the moment.
In an ideal world, vet meets animal, vet treats animal, and everyone's happy. But in the TV world, things don't quite go to plan. When the vet turns up, the animal may need convincing that it's all in the patient's best interest.
You have to get used to the fact that the animals hate you.
If the falcon moves, the claws will tear right through the flesh.
I think so, it just pierced. The trouble is they hook underneath once they go through. Oh God, no.
It's a lucky escape.
Our patients are not compliant.
Now, do their tea.
Humans hold out their hand for injections, take pills. Not our patients. They do it under protest.
Good, Nelly. It's okay, steady. No, tronca.
Asking a patient to blow their nose might sound easy.
Down. Nelly. No, Nelly. What's wrong with you?
But when the patient weighs 5 tons, it can take all the vet's powers of persuasion.
Ah, we lost it. Blow, Nelly. Blow, good girl, blow. All right, Nelly, blow. Easy. Nelly. Blow. Good girl, Nelly. Good.
It's a lot of effort for a little dribble.
Got some? Yeah.
Sometimes the patient is right to be scared, especially if they're offered up to a vet in training.
All I was going to do for the cameras was to vaccinate this little kitten.
Oh, dear me.
I made one first attempt to do it, and it was wriggling a bit, and I was holding the scruff in a bit funny way.
Yes, I know, you didn't like that.
Oh my God, no,
No,
I'm
it's
not
out.
doing it. I went through...
That's okay, don't worry.
So actually what I managed to do was to shoot the vaccine straight through that skin fold. And I thought, ooh, that's a bit embarrassing. But I thought, you know, I'll give it another go. So my tutor showed me once more how to do it.
The back of one's mind is this immense fear that something goes horribly wrong whilst you're on camera that is your fault. Absolute nightmare.
I was starting to feel really flustered, and I thought, ooh, this is really, really bad.
Second time round, the kitten knows what to expect.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay, sweetie pie. Yeah, it's a lot better. Well done.
Oh, I'm doing it again.
And then I did the same mistake again. And you could literally see the vaccine coming out on the other end of the skin fold. I started to laugh. I should never have laughed, because people interpreted that as a wicked laughter. Never go through the scruff of a kitten when you're giving it an injection. Never do that, because the nation will never forgive you.
After this incident, Truda had to retake the course. Animals aren't afraid of complaining about their treatment.
Just give her a wee pull. That's it, she's got it.
But one species will fight tooth and claw, the domestic cat.
Wait, no, just let me put the box here.
Good girl.
Here we go.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
You okay?
Yeah.
Steady. Okay, wait. Just a little bit.
Cats never behave. Cats do their own thing. They don't stand still long enough.
But with cats, you just can't hold them. If you've got a nasty cat and it wants to bite you, you are going to get bitten.
Emma's sworn enemy, a cat called Jasper.
We managed to get hold of him and actually pull him out, and got him out of his basket. And then it was after that we thought, oh, he's not too bad. But then we went to change grip so that we could do the injection, and that was it. He was gone. The thing is, then they start doing this wall of death all round whatever room you're in. In the end, it's just a matter of, you know, the vet's the one that the sort of buck stops there. So if someone's going to get injured, it's got to be you, really. So you just have to make a launch for them.
That's my baby. Don't do that.
So?
It's a brave vet who shows the animal who's boss.
Don't.
But anxious animals come well armed.
As you can see, he's still very nervous. It's okay, Ben.
Good lad.
It's okay, Ben.
Good boy.
Okay, now this looks...
No! It's such a shock when you do get bitten.
I can see.
The pain and the throbbing afterwards. So it really does make you wary of it happening again.
Ooh. And I still got my favourite shirt here with 1, 2, 3 Louis teeth marks on it.
Ow. There you go, I've just been bitten.
You can never relax when you're in the presence of a wild animal. You've got to have your wits about you totally. And I obviously didn't, so I scruffed the animal, I scruffed it slightly wrong, it turned around and bit me on the thumb. Ow! And I put the other hand in to try and extricate that hand. The little Foxy, dear Foxy, bit me on the other thumb.
Big. Ouch. She's got a sharp little gnasher she's got too.
I was just dripping blood everywhere because it had punctured both thumbnails and it was excruciating.
The food for parrots is also very important.
Ow! 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 Lee, ow! That was a bite. That's enough.
Ow! Ow!
But the most battle-scarred vet of all is John Baxter.
I've been on screen bitten by a Yorkshire Terrier. I think that's what I'll have to do.
Wow-wee!
I've been bitten by a parrot, which is dangerous, by the way. They can break your finger. Parrots are very... Ouch! In my finger. I've been bitten by a budgie. Oh, you devil! And I've been bitten by a tiger cub. Oh! I got one right in the finger.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can wake it up a bit at least, so I don't...
But there's only one animal who can strike fear into the heart of any vet.
Yeah.
Give you this bit of advice from a vet. Watch hamsters.
I think most vets would agree that of all animals that vets have been attacked by, hamsters would be up there as #1.
The worst part of all is a hamster bite. I mean, I'd do anything to avoid a hamster bite.
Hamsters can be really tricky.
The hamster is just so painful.
We've all been in a situation where you've had a hamster hanging off your finger.
And your immediate instinct is to sort of flick it across the room.
So you start to do this, and then the teeth digs in even deeper.
And I went like that, and this hamster flew across the room and sort of landed on the wall.
However much vets hate them, it's still their duty to try and make them better.
Certainly I've been filmed with a few awkward hamsters. I mean, there was one time, it was right in the very first series of Vets in Practice, that this young boy brought a hamster in. It was a very ill hamster, in my defence.
His breathing does sound quite laboured there, so I imagine he's got a respiratory infection of some form.
But I didn't expect it to die quite as quickly as it did.
Right, no fainting over.
Because as soon as I injected it, it just went...
He is actually gone because he's still just taking a few little breaths there. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that it had to happen here, really. It's yeah, a bit upsetting, really. But the stress has just finished him off, I'm afraid.
I was sort of a bit off with the young boy, I think, and sort of said, sorry, your hamster's appears to have passed away.
There's probably no charge for that one because it died.
An animal dying is about as bad as it can get, just not just for a vet, but obviously if it's being filmed as well, then that's pretty bad.
We got The Guardian the week after, and then it said, Joe, the hamster murdering bastard. And we were just like, oh no, that's so bad.
After the break, a balls up.
I couldn't find a testicle. Saved my life.
Joe's at it again.
It's been hamster murdering bastard, now it's going to be snake killing whatever.
And animals behaving badly.
Thrust, 2, 3, 4. Woo!
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Check ignition and... Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Just wanna dance another way. The singing can sway. Just wanna dance another way. Major Tom, can you hear?
Come on, Oliver. Come on, you can do it. Come on, now, concentrate. Go on. Go on. Go on, Oliver. Go on. Go on. Go on. Yes. Yes. We won. Did he?
When you overcook food, not just the taste goes, but the goodness too. New Pedigree Pouch is gently cooked, so it retains up to 50% more natural vitamins than our can. He'll love it because it's tasty, and you love it because he's healthy. New Pedigree Pouch. Enjoy the difference.
Don't miss the home base sale with a £5 million power tool clearance. This Bosch hammer drill is now half price. But don't miss its sale ideas. Home base.
I've taken color to the limit. With vibrant, multifaceted, shimmering color. Our secret?
New Feria Color Booster from L'Oreal.
As you've never seen before, with a color booster.
A concentration of pure color which intensifies color power.
Color booster, a unique technology.
To boost color intensity. To boost your highlights from every angle.
To boost its staying power.
New Feria from L'Oreal with Color Booster.
Step out of the dark. Boost your color. Because you're worth it.
20 summer cruising classics on one fantastic CD. Free inside tomorrow's Mail on Sunday.
Keep on running.
With 15 top 10 hits, including 5 number ones.
I sound like cricket. Oh no. I love it.
Get your fabulous 20-track CD, coast to coast, free inside every copy of tomorrow's Mail on Sunday.
The nation's biggest talent search is back.
Only this time we're searching for twice the talent.
To form a girl band
and a boy band.
It's the battle of the sexes.
It's pop stars, the rivals.
If you're aged between 16 and 24, call 090 6680 1111.
Or visit our website.
If you've got it, come and get it.
So, our vets are scared of animals.
What does it feel like to have a spider down the back of your neck?
Prone to accidents.
It's a flying squirrel. What?
But with years of vet school training, we can be confident of one thing.
Right, this pigeon's ready to go now. Okay?
They know their stuff.
You can never pretend to know something you don't know, and I've always thought that you've got to be honest. But the critical thing is that the public doesn't realise how little we know.
You said something about the cat because it looks a bit unusual.
Not really, don't know anything about it. But I can make something up.
Using vague terms is quite a good way of getting round things. So sort of, yeah, I'm sure it's got a sore leg, and it will probably get better.
At least you should respond when I make a big noise. Right, Barney, time for you to go home.
Certainly we used to be asked questions by the members of the public, and that used to be completely terrifying because although they'd been given a question to ask, or they had come forward with their question, invariably they changed it. So they were going to ask us about how long is a cat pregnant for, and instead they'd say, how long is a guinea pig pregnant for? We said, God knows.
The canker that this bird has got, it's a protozoa, which means it's like a, oh, I don't know what it is.
I know what a protozoa is up to a point, but then, you know, I won't explain it now because it'll be just the same as the last one.
Go on, what's a protozoa?
Well, it's a single-celled something or other.
You go out and there's stuff that you look at and you just haven't got a clue. So
when Matt Brash went to castrate a llama, the limit of his knowledge was a surprise both to him and the patient.
So you make sure we've got everything we need there. I'd never castrated a llama before. I've done guanacos and alpacas, which are very similar, but never a llama. And so I felt underneath, and there were two very small lumps, and I thought, God, you're not very large, are you, my boy?
You found one?
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely tiny.
Everything went really well, you know, sedated and knocked out the llama.
Prepared it all, clipped it all up and so on, and started guddling in there.
This is when we know
how good our anaesthetic is.
Yeah. Matt's search for the bits we were looking for took longer and longer and longer.
And 15, 20 minutes later, still no sign of testicles. It's becoming a very dead end. So at one point, we even pulled a bit out and realised that was probably a bit of penis and put that back in. The bit we have here does not wish to be a testicle. Couldn't find a testicle. Saved my life in there. And it was one of the most terrifying experiences because there was the camera. I was sweating buckets. It was incredibly embarrassing.
You just had to admit that, well, actually, we can't find the testicles.
Truda has this extraordinary habit of collecting testicles, and she was really gutted because she didn't have a pair of llama testicles to add to her collection.
When the vet really hasn't a clue, there's only one thing for it. Chance it and hope for the best.
I was being filmed at a practice in Birmingham, and this young boy brought a snake in and it had a swelling on its eye, and we tried to treat it with antibiotics, didn't get any better. So I said, having read the book, well, what we need to do is give it an anaesthetic and drain this abscess and take a sample from it. And we've got to try and inject some anaesthetic into a vein on him, which is going to be interesting. They didn't tend to teach us too much on snakes at university.
But a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing, especially for the patient.
Right. I looked in the textbook and found the dose of an anaesthetic, and I injected this anaesthetic into the snake's muscle, and nothing appeared to happen. I kept sort of opening the box, and it was still slithering around. So I then got on the phone and rang up a snake expert vet, because I didn't really think I knew what I was doing. Oh, right, OK. Thank you very much for your help, then. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Right, he said that the drug we've given him probably wouldn't work anyway, so you need to give it another anaesthetic, and you have to inject it into its vein. And I thought, entirely sure where the veins are on a snake. I'm a bit lost, really. I don't want to put too many holes in him, but let's have another go. And then I sort of suddenly looked round, and the snake had sort of gone, it just completely gone floppy. I thought, well, I've never really seen a snake anaesthetised before, so maybe this is what's supposed to happen. And then after a couple of minutes, I thought, it really hasn't taken a breath, and I can't see a heartbeat. I was starting to panic at this point, thinking, oh, God, it's been hamster-murdering bastard, now it's going to be snake-killing whatever.
Facing the prospect of yet another fatality, Joe decides on a desperate course of action.
I'd never opened a snake's mouth before. I didn't really know what to expect in the mouth, so I looked in and I could see what appeared to be its windpipe, and I got a little plastic tube, put it in the windpipe and then sort of grimaced and sort of had to get my mouth right here with the snake and blow into its lungs.
God, this is traumatic. This is awful. Oh, look at that, he's breathing. He's had a breath on his own. Fantastic.
It was actually asleep for about 8 hours. Luckily, they didn't show the whole thing of it being asleep, but it was so close to dying, and since then I've never really been quite as scared of snakes.
But if real vets seem slightly incompetent, their dramatic doubles know nothing at all.
This is the interior of the Emmerdale Vet Surgery where I come and work every day. Well, Paddy comes and works every day with Zoe. Really, we were trying to make sure that we know what we're talking about most of the time, but really, we don't really. Edna, Batley's lump, it's malignant, it's terminal. This table is where we usually do all the scenes around, where we're usually masked up and we've got covers on and covered in sort of fake blood and things like that. We tend to slash and hack things. Get him, Batley. Good boy, haven't you? He's the best. This is Woody the dog. And this is the cat. And they're both lovely, and they're ours. Stan, who plays Seth, used to have a pet, what do they call it? A pet ferret. And but it was too much to keep having his ferret in the bag, and it kept going like that, and it was driving him mad. So he said, what you can use is this. What you need to do is have this in your bag, and then when you open your bag and pull it out, just go like that a little bit, so that it looks alive. But it just didn't. I mean, does that look alive?
I am willing and all. They'll do it for a crate of beer and whatever they can get from tourists.
Come on! Actors might perform to order, but four-legged stars are less obliging, especially when filming the love scene.
Yeah, the director wanted 2 bonking sheep, so we set about looking for our 2 likely candidates. And we just thought, well, maybe it'll work on the day, maybe it won't. So we turned up with the sheep, and they didn't want to know. Right, action, you know, and as soon as we let them go, they just wanted to eat grass. So I had this idea. OK, what we're going to do here is then we're going to pretend that the sheep are bonking. So if you bring your sheep in, Helen, we're going to place one sheep on top of the other. Right, don't let that sheep walk forward, and you lift that sheep and place it well up here on his back, OK? Right, hop, now go to the back of the sheep. Now you have to do the thrusting movement, Helen. No, 1, 2, 3, up. Right forward, right. Sit it there, OK? And this is actually how we did it on the day. Ooh, I don't think anybody watching it would know.
Oh, he's in the grasp quite hard. He's just fighting me all the way if I try to pull it out.
But if filming sheep seems difficult, attempting to reconstruct real situations can prove disastrous.
You had to go back when the weather's right, exactly the same time of day, maybe the next night, to sort of film the bits that we couldn't get when we actually did the rescue, which is absolutely fine when you haven't been to the pub for an hour first.
Cheers. Cheers.
The cameraman got, I'm afraid, a dose of wind halfway through the sequence.
Oh, she's coming. I wish I was.
We're never going to do this after we've come out of the pub again.
If he started to laugh, he broke wind again.
Okay.
We're going to run out of light. Come on.
Quickly.
Right. Ready?
I've got tears in my eyes.
I'll crush him.
The whole evening was an absolute nightmare. Never go to a pub before you try to get the cutaways.
Welcome back to this special edition
I'll put the name of the programme again.
So spare a thought for the poor TV vet. Animal expert trapped in the glare of the television spotlight.
Why does any vet want to be on why does any expert want to be on television?
You can't really take yourself too seriously.
No, I'm not always patient with animals.
I think things go wrong without the TV cameras there, in my experience.
Vets are absolutely barking mad. You've got to be to work with animals.
No, you have to be a fool.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Whatever you do, don't mess with the vet. When it comes to animals, we know what we're doing.
Come say goodbye. Goodbye.
Sylvester Stallone in Daylight next Saturday from 8 and Charlie Sheen in Terminal Velocity tonight from 10:30. Let's stay with us next for the Brian Connolly Show.
Ever been somewhere you shouldn't have been? Ever done something you shouldn't have done? Tarrant on CCTV, Sunday at 10, ITV1.
The price of this superb 4-drawer Majestic King size has been cut again. Just one of the many amazing furniture double discounts in the Court sale.
I want to show ya the Co-op store, yeah. There's freedom food because they care about animal welfare.
When you've got no time, designed with you in mind.
Is there pasta?
Fresh and organic.
Who could ask for more?
There's choices, it's local with surprises. It's so full at the Co-op.
We fell in love.
Co-op, we go further so you don't have to.
Goodies, goody goody gum gums.
They're back for a new series, London's Burning.
Back off, I'll shoot you.
The Blue Watch firefighters return to face their biggest disaster to date. New London's Burning begins Sunday at 9.